everyone, Low Energy here with a unexpected and kind of important story to tell. I was, as you may remember, on Friday having some friends over, and I was going to put together a little video or do a live stream, and to get some footage you'll see at the end of it, to sort of lighten the mood, because this story's not good. So my friends were coming over around about 3, 4, and I was getting the place ready. As I was doing my bed up, I suddenly felt like someone kicked me in the back, well, my lower back, and I went straight forward onto my bed. Obviously, no one kicked me unless there was a dickish ghost. And as I was laying there, face up, looking at the ceiling, I was freaked out. So, called in my roommate, Metal Monkey, and he helped me up. Metal Monkey's going to be in a lot of this story because he was the hero, the outstanding hero of it. Not that he had much of a choice after a while. So I got up, mild twinge in my lower back, put it out of my mind, had my friends over. They brought their dogs, we had drinks, we had food. We went for a bit of a nature walk around the village. And as I was doing that, I noticed my back was getting more and more painful. By the time we were on our way back from halfway up towards Sheemore, I was in a lot of pain, kept only alive by the constant stream of alcohol being funneled into me. Then, when I got back here, I proceeded to not being able to get out of my chair. My friends got more and more worried because I was basically hobbling around the place. I looked increasingly like I couldn't just hide the pain anymore because obviously I couldn't. And they left some painkillers and they said, you might need to go and see your doctor in the morning. So they left, and I was like, right, well, I don't think I need those painkillers. I'm going to go to bed now. So I went to bed, and the second I went to bed, the pain. Oh my fucking Christ. Whereas before it felt like someone had kicked me, this felt like someone was jamming a knife into my back constantly. I couldn't move. I was, after a while, I was in this weird position where I was basically just wrapped around the bedding. And I was in so much pain, I fucking pissed the bed. I couldn't even get out of the bed to take a piss. I couldn't do anything. I was just in bits. Eventually, I called my roommate in, and oh, he must have seen quite the sight. I asked for his help to get up, but when that failed to happen, I'm like, you're gonna have to call an ambulance, and that started this wild ride that I'm only now really getting resolved with. So after a while, the ambulance came, and these paramedics were nice enough, but oh, they were the most useless fucks. They were very confused by the most simplest things. They didn't know where the nearest hospital was. Would you believe that? These two paramedic motherfuckers didn't know where the nearest hospital was. They were very confused to find out that yes, I could move, and yes, I was in a lot of pain. What? I know. Paramedics aren't doctors, but Jesus fucking Christ. They did my they did my my temperature, my heartbeat on the back of the ambulance on the way up to Sligo. That's our nearest place. At least that's the one they decided on. And while I was there, they gave me some paracetamol and Nurofen. The only painkillers I got all night, by the way. When I arrived there, the place wasn't that packed looking, but apparently it was. The doctors were running around helter skelter. I eventually got seen, and the nurse there told me that it was very packed and I wouldn't be seen until morning. It's currently 1 o'clock, no, sorry, 2 o'clock in the morning by the time I got in there. So we waited out. I was in a little wheelchair, and we were waiting out in the just basically the waiting area. So we were both exhausted, absolutely exhausted. I of course was in a lot of pain, still am. So I'm actually twitching when I speak. And it was dodgy town, let's just say. A lot of people there, you could tell, had just been coming in from parties and gigs after something went wrong. Later on in the evening, there were junkies. There was this poor girl just getting sick constantly. She was sobbing and must have been in so much pain. They had to put her next to an IV drip. Another guy looked like he got himself kicked in by like 20 lads. Eventually, I, however, could start walking on my own a little bit, and the pain was starting to become more manageable. I mean, I was starting to become able to move on my own. So as a result, I just basically went up to the doctor, who himself had he had a bloodshot eye and blood burst vessel eye and a huge wound that clearly looked like he was either in a car crash or someone gave him a massive welt across the face. And he was very polite, and he just said, "Oh yeah, sure. Well, you're right. It's like you're more than welcome to stay here, but you're also more than welcome to go. You just need to sign this form. Um, and if you need to, you can come back. I still might need to go back, just so you know. Still might need to go back. Anyway, so I signed the form, and the cab came up. It was just in time for the first train to Carrick. So we grabbed the train. When we got into the village, though, this is where the real fun started. Because we had to walk all the way to the village, because nowhere was open to call a cab. And even then, no cabs were running, so everyone thought. The best one had to be from... I'm not going to give his name. Let's just say he's kind of important in town politics. And he just went, no, I can't call them this early in the weekend. They'd be so angry at me. Couldn't do that. I'm not going to do that. No. Culchy bullshit. I'm sorry. I know, like, a lot of people were like, but why would you need a cab at 8 o'clock in the morning? I don't know there, Paddy McGee. Maybe because something in your life needed a cab at 8 o'clock in the morning. And as it turns out, more importantly, the cabs were running. But because they were so fucking cultified, they didn't bother to even try. Oh, well, why would you need to? Fuck's sake. So we had to wander halfway across the village, exhausted, stinking. Remember, I'd pissed myself the night earlier. I didn't really have the luxury of changing out my clothes for the most part. And I was in bits with my back. Eventually a cab came up, dropped me off here. We went to bed. He apparently didn't get that much sleep, but I didn't get that much sleep either, because when I went to sleep, I found a position that was comfortable enough. I went to sleep 2 hours later, I woke up, I was in pain. Not that much bad pain, but pain enough. And then I went to sleep for another 2 hours. And then another 4 hours, and now here I am. So what's all this have to say? No more streams. Not until this is sorted out. I'm sorry. Might be able to do like a balcony stream at some point on the laptop, but beyond that, no. Nothing. Orange Videos is on pause. I need to not feel agony. The doc gave me one bit of advice. It's a mixture of getting off your feet and getting on them. So, with that said, I'm going to be basically working my way into a mixture of a few hours off my feet to feel comfortable, and then a few hours on my feet to keep the muscles in movement. So, yeah, you might see me around. I mean, I'll probably still be watching shit, so, you know, I still might be in comment sections and such. Big shout out to Chris, my roommate. He was, like, so much help. And, you know, it might seem like I'm angry at, like, the doctors and shit like that, but, you know, they're just doing their job. I am just in bits. I am in bits, and I'll be in bits for the next few days. So, before I go, here is the only bit of footage I took. I wasn't in that much pain at the time of this, so you wouldn't be able to tell. But at the end of that night, I was sobbing into my bed. I was just in bits. So, yeah, fuck back pain.
Moving!
Oh, go on, Missy. Good job.
Go on! Go on!
Oh, she's getting one good girl.
Good girl!
Yeah.
Well done!
Yeah.
Focus.
Come on, Charlie, get the stick. Come on. Come on, Charlie. Stick move.
Will Charlie get the stick? Find out. Same bat time, same bat channel.